Welcome everybody to the first episode of Unusual Openings, a series based around weird and unusual openings that we find that I'm going to be sharing with you. Today we are going on with the ALAPIN'S opening, a really weird unknown opening that not that many people even know or play, but we are going to be showing this off and playing some matches today with it. How about we get started? Alright, first, in this opening you start off with e4. Now, the response to this opening that black has to do is e5. If that doesn't happen, I don't recommend this. Don't do this. Now, right after that, we have knight e2. Knight e2. That's the special day. That's the little novelty. All right, that's the novelty we're gonna be doing to get into some weird stuff. You know. Here's where we unleash a whole bomb. Right. Now, depending on what black does here, we have to do a move. Now, let's see. If black does knight c6, we get into a very theoretical line. You have to play c3, or if you do not like going to c3 and you don't like this whole theoretical line, I recommend just going to the Scotch, right? And you'll be fine. You can just play regular Scotch stuff, right? But if you do not want to do that, you want to switch it up a little bit, make something different, right? You play c3. Now, if bishop comes out, you want to push the center, of course, because then right after that, you're going to be fine. You just want to go ahead and now fianchetto your bishop and castle. You'll be happy with that, right? Maybe bring your knight in, maybe first bring your bishop out, and you're happy, right? Now, after, let's say they don't bring out their bishop. They bring their knight out, attacking this pawn, right? This is what you see most common. This is the most common thing you'll see. You want to bring your queen out here. Yeah, now, you might be wondering, okay, well, that's kind of weird. You're protecting your queen. Why can't I protect this with, let's say, I don't know, my pawn? You don't want to bring your pawn out forward first. You want to kind of keep your king side there for castling, right? Now, next thing we're going to do. After black continues developing, let's say they bring out their bishop, you want to play h3. This is to stop black from going for like a reverse fried liver tactic where they try to hit the f pawn twice with the knight and the bishop. Okay? Now after that, you're gonna see either pawn to d5 or just regular f6, right? Or just regular d6 here, right? If that happens, you're gonna be happy, because you can just continue developing, right? Just bring your knight over to g3, bring your bishop out, and castle, right? I mean, even if black does this off the bat, you're still gonna be happy. All you just need to do is continue supporting this. If they decide to trade, you're happy. Now, you may be wondering, let's go back to the very beginning, right? If black, right off the bat, continues to push this pawn forward, off the bat, you're going to be at a disadvantage, okay? You're going to have to play this a bit weirdly. You're going to have to go ahead and take here. Because if you do not take, and you continue just pushing your d3 pawn, protecting it like that, right? Black can just go ahead and take, and then mess up your king, and you're not going to be able to castle the whole game. It's going to be really ugly for you, right? That's the only move I recommend. If you're playing against this, you know this opening, and you see this happen, play d5 as soon as you can. You're going to mess up the white side completely. Well, if this happens, I just recommend to take and then, you know, continue developing. You know, just maybe fianchetto. Don't fianchetto right here because, you know, this gets hit. But, you know, just continue playing normally. Bring your queen in, push your pawn, and continue. Maybe try to even fianchetto right here. It's fine. Right. Now, if let's continue. Out of that theory, right? Out of that theory. Well, let's say black plays knight f6. Oh, this is my favorite line. This is my favorite line. We're gonna unleash an insane explosion right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play f4. Now, f4 gives black many different options. Black can either take on f4 or take on either take on f4 or take on or e4. Damn. Either take on e4, right? If they take on e4, which is what most people do, you play d3. This is enabling a trap. This trap gives the trap here is if black decides to get cheeky with checking here, because they see that after you check here, you're gonna push the pawn, of course, and then trade the knights, right? To go for this pawn. They'll see that you can just take the pawn right here. Let me show this off. After check, you play g3. If black looks a couple moves ahead, they're gonna think, okay, I'm just gonna take here. They're gonna take back with the knight, and then you're gonna take with the pawn, still hitting the pin knight with the pawn, right? This is bad for black, because right away after you see this happen, you're gonna move to queen h5. This is challenging the queen, so if he does not take the queen, you're gonna take it, right? You're gonna take it. Now the queen has to move and unpin the knight. So what they're gonna mostly do is just check, and then you're just up a full knight. You're very happy, you're up a full knight. You're gonna go ahead and bring your pieces out and just castle, bring your bishop onto this open file. You're gonna be really nice the whole game. You're just up a full piece, right? If that does not happen, we're gonna get into a really weird gambiting line, okay? Black will either go to d6 or c5. d6 is actually the worst option because, you know, pawn takes, and then you have this whole, you know, thing going on right here. Now, so what you're gonna see is most of the time just knight c5. You're gonna take the pawn. They're either going to bring out their knight right here, which is fine. You're gonna want to gambit this pawn for development off the back. What you want to do is you want to play g3. They're gonna take the pawn, and then you want to push your bishop out. Now, after you push your bishop out, you're gonna have a really nice active bishop on this file, and you're gonna be able to castle with a really active rook. When you gambit that pawn, you're just going for complete activity. You don't want to care about anything else. And also, when you do this, you also threaten d4. When you push out your bishop here, it stops black from going here if you try to fork to check the king, right? And also gives you an active bishop as well. Also lets you kind of castle. Now, after you have this, black either has to move out of the way to not get forked, of course, or you know, just move the other knight back over here. If this happens, you can just trade, and you'll be way better, in my opinion, because that bishop's gonna be gone. You're gonna castle when you're just gonna start bringing your other pieces, right? What you're gonna most of the time see is e6. Knight e6 is gonna happen. You push d4. Now, what the engine recommends here is for black to go knight g4, h3, and then knight f6. This is to have a bit knight on the, you know, better square f6. Computer likes this a lot more. I have no idea why. It's a bit funky, but what you're gonna see most of the time is after you push this pawn, which is what you're gonna do every time you see this, is black's gonna go to g6. If this happens, you're way happier. You want to castle right away, bring out your knight, and then start an attack on this king side. What black's going to do is, if they decide to trade off their, by the way, in this position, black has a really good bishop. Black has a beautiful, beautiful dark squared bishop. This bishop, after you castle, is just going to be annoying the whole game. But either if black decides to trade it off, you're going to be really happy. You're going to still have your attack. You're going to have a rook hitting this king side. They're going to try to take it out and then just castle, right? If that happens, you're just good. You're okay. You're very nice. Okay? You can continue your attack. Now, the problem is, what black can do in the start of this opening is they could try to go ahead and bring out their queen, obstructing everything here, right? If this happens, you want to go ahead right away, bring your rook out on the open file, and force the queen back, right? And then now you try to castle queen side. Don't care about the king side. You already have a really active rook. And then you're just fine. You're just happy. You just wasted one of their tempos, and you're okay the whole game. Now, if that happens, you're just fine. You're okay. If you have this position, you have a really nice attack. All you want to do is just continue bringing your pieces into the king side after they castle, right, and keep your attack going. If they decide to bring their queen out, let's say, you know, just they're not gonna be able to bring their queen out here. Honestly, they either have to block their bishop, they either have to go into this f file and let you castle, you know, long. They either gonna go here and just lose the queen, or, you know, go to the pawn and lose their queen here. If that happens, you know, that's why they can't move their queen here, or they just block it, or just bring out their bishop. Like I said, if they trade off this bishop, you're okay. You're happy. The bishop's gone. You're gonna be okay. Now, if black decides to just castle here, like I said, you want to castle as well and just start attacking. You want to start bringing in all your pieces. You want to bring everything into this game. Everything into this king side. You're gonna have a really, really strong attack. Black's gonna have a really hard time trying to cover this. And this queen's not going to be able to get out of here in general, because there's too many things just covering this spot, right? And then here you have a really nice position. For me, in my opinion, I really like this position. I would always gambit this pawn for this. That's why you get into this. All right. Let's say in this position, black just continues developing, right? Tries to bring their queen out. Brings their pawn, maybe fianchettos their bishop. They can't really fianchetto here either. You're just happy here in general. Like I said, you're just happy here. You have too much of an attack. Alright, let's go all the way back. Now, if black continues to take this pawn right here, you just take back, of course. You get your pawn back. Now, to the untrained eye, this pawn looks completely free. But if black takes this pawn, it's a complete blunder. Why, you may ask? Well, after you bring your queen out to e2, they're going to bring out their queen to e2. You're going to go ahead and bring your knight out to d5, right? Attacking the queen. Now, the queen cannot go to e6 because there's a fork right here. You just collect the queen for free, right? So the queen has to go to e5. If the queen goes out to e5, this knight is still pinned, right? This knight still cannot move. So what you're going to do is you're going to continue attacking this knight. You're going to bring out your other piece. You're going to continue your development, right? Now, the most common moves here are f5. If that happens, I just recommend, there's an insane engine line here that goes with d4. Don't recommend that. It gets really confusing. Go into d3, just collect the knight, and you're just going to be happy the game. You have the full knight. All right. Now, if pawn to c6, oh, it gets very, very interesting. If pawn to c6, you want to go ahead and play d4. Give away the pawn, and then collect the knight right here. Now, right here, once you collect the knight, you have a lot of interesting discoveries here. You have a double check. Oh crap! You have a double check right here that just gives you everything. Now, if queen takes the knight, you check on f6. Double check. The king has to move, and then you just collect the queen. Right? Now you're just winning your upper queen. Now, if pawn takes, you want to check on d6, and then you have mate in 8. You may be asking how you got mate in 8. You have check. You have check, of course. You move. They check again. They go here. Now you check here. Now, after the king moves, do not collect this queen. Do not. If you take this queen, there's a discovered check with the rook right here, and then you're just losing. Again, you're just completely losing. It's not a good position for you. Actually, it's still fine, but you're just not gonna like this as much. Because then after they take this queen, you're just gonna still have to be checked, right? Now, you want to be a bit slow. This knight is still protected by the bishop, right? You want to continue just attacking it. You want to go for check here on d8. They're gonna move it again. If they go here, you can collect the knight now with a discovered check. And then you want to bring in your bishop, and then you're just gonna have checkmate in a couple moves, right? Now, if the king instead goes to, c6 here, you want to take the queen as well, because you're still gonna have check. And if they move down, you continue with just checking here, collecting the bishop while checking. If they take, you have mate in 2. You check here, blocking off this whole file. The king cannot go to h6 because of this bishop. This bishop cannot let him go down, and this queen is still giving the square up. I mean, you're still fine. Hold on. Yeah, you're just fine. Yeah. If they go here, you continue off this check. If they take here, you just go ahead and you just go over here and check. Now they gotta go over here, and then you can pick up the queen when this queen's off this file, because you don't have to be scared about any checks here, and you're okay. And you still have mate in a couple moves. We're gonna get into a different variation. Now we're gonna go into the bishop c5 variation. If the other person is trying to bring out their bishop quickly, right? Now, after this happens, you want to play c3. The only move for black that's actually good here is d5. I never see this move. I've played this opening for a lot of times. This is not one of the common moves. If this happens, you're okay. You can still play this like it was before, right? Now, if this doesn't happen, they're most likely gonna either bring out their knight, bring their other knight into the game. If they bring their other knight into the game, you can continue with this whole trading situation, right? Now, if black goes ahead and checks right here, you want to bring your bishop out, challenge their bishop, and after the trade happens, you're just okay. Both these pawns control the center completely, and you are gonna soon fianchetto the bishop, castle, and you're gonna be very okay. You're just gonna be very happy. You've got full control of the center. Your knights are looking fine. Your rook's about to get brought into this whole file. You're just gonna be happy. You're just completely you're okay, right? And that's the situation. That's the whole thing about this opening. You're just kind of taking away their activity to get yourself kind of active and giving up pieces sometimes. That's it. And that's all the variations for black. Now, if black decides to go and get really funky, right? They decide to, hey, I'm not gonna go for all these weird variations, and they decide to play c5 off the bat, right? Because it's protected, or just off the bat, right? You're gonna want to play this kind of like a Sicilian, but a really weird Sicilian. You want to bring out your knight. This square is very undefended, right? In the Sicilian, if these pawns get pushed forward, you want to make sure that you have d5 as one of your squares, right? In this position, I like to just fianchetto in either way, bring my queen out, either bring my knight out to this side, bring my queen over here, or just, bring my queen out of this way and castle along. Or, just play this like a regular Sicilian. You want to go ahead and maybe bring your knight out to here, castle, fianchetto this bishop, move your queen out of the way and castle, or play d3, and you're happy, you're okay, all right, you're having a good time. Now, this is a really weak square. You're gonna play this out like a Sicilian. Like I said, you're gonna be very happy with the rest of the game. Now, if black decides to not do any of that, and they go into any other variations, let's say they just continue maybe trying to fianchetto their bishop, right, going after this pawn. If they try to go for some weird fianchetto variation, you can continue doing that with yourself. Like I said, if you fianchetto your bishop first and you're up with that, you're just gonna have control of the center once to open it up. If you fianchetto and de-fianchetto, you're gonna have a situation where whenever you get rid of this pawn, you're gonna have control of when you push the pawn. And if you have control over when you push the pawn, this bishop's not protected. I've also had a game where black has tried to fianchetto their dark squared bishop. If that happens, you're gonna play a really long game where you're gonna castle kingside and just push this side. If that happens, it's gonna be very easy for you to play. Just play really aggressively on the king side, and you're just gonna have a really nice time. Yeah, and that's the ALAPIN'S opening, everyone. That is the ALAPIN'S opening. How about we get into some games now? Let me show off this opening. Let's get into some games. Okay, we're starting off the games. We're gonna load up. We're gonna play some 3-2 games, some blitz matches. I know a lot of you like to either play rapids or blitz. If you're playing rapids, you're gonna have a lot more time to think about these moves. All right, right off the bat, we have e4, e5. We're gonna play knight e2. Now, like I said, black has a lot of different options. They can play c6. All right, they go right into the main one of my favorite lines. Right, you're gonna play f4. Okay. Now, if they decide to go ahead and bring out their other knight, you just want to take here, and now you've got control over the center. Right, you want to push this pawn, they're gonna move it back, and then bring out your other knight, and you're happy. You've got complete control of the center. You're just gonna be alive all day, awake. Just good, very good. Now we're waiting for this for my opponent to move back. All right, my opponent has moved back to g6. We're just gonna continue our development, cover this square from being attacked by this knight, and we're okay. We don't want to overextend because we don't have that many pieces active at the moment. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring out a bishop to g5, and we're gonna pin this knight, kind of ruin the situation. Just kind of. Okay, now they've come out to go ahead and attack our knight. That's fine because we can always protect it. Now we're gonna go ahead and attack their knight. Since this bishop is currently pinning the knight, they're probably gonna go for some weird tactic about just trading here. Now we can attack the queen, make them move, which is fine. But we need to remember this pawn's protected currently, right? Can they attack it in the future? Possibly. So we're gonna go ahead and try to trade this off while we still can. Alright. Now they decided to move back the bishop because they realized it's not really worth attacking here. Now black can either go right here, just try to trade it off here. So we want to kind of stop all these checking ideas by pushing up our G pawn and fianchettoing the bishop here, stopping this queen from going anywhere here so we can pick up a knight. Now this knight has nowhere to go. This knight's just very bad. So far looking good. Okay, black plays the only move that they really can. We're gonna continue doing our whole thing here. Fianchetto the bishop. Now, if you've noticed here, we've turned the situation into the opening that I've shown you for that, you know, that pawn move. Now we're gonna bring our pawn onto our rook onto f4. Attack this queen. Queen has to move now. Moves over to the only square. We're going to we're gonna go ahead and attack it. Now we can't push h4 because if they take with the knight, I take with the pawn. They get a free pawn, and they collect my bishop here, right? We're gonna go ahead and just think for a second. Now our dark square is off the board currently. Our dark squared bishop is off the board. So we can't castle currently either. But we can push the queen up and just trade the queens. Because we have too much of an attack already. The queen's being annoying there, and they can't protect after we trade. Now, after they have a trade, we have a trade here. We're going to push our h4 pawn and try to kind of open this whole situation up. Now, they're going to be a bit annoying here with just going over here. We're going to go here and just go for a trade. And have a really, really healthy center with an open file. Alright. Now, knight moves back. We're going to continue pressing this bishop forward a bit more. We want to open up this file so we still have this attack. Okay. They decide to take it. They're going to move back and let me continue pressing forward. They want to bring their knight out to here. They're not going to be able to. They're going to probably go here. I actually blended a piece by accident. Whoops. We're just going to keeping this connected. There's no checks there. There's no moves here. This knight's actually kind of stuck. Completely stuck. We're going to keep these squares covered. Push this pawn. They're gonna go for this now. We're keeping this covered twice still. Your takes here. This is just a free bishop or free knight. Because after they take, I just take the free rook, or take the free piece, and now we're up a full piece. We're gonna bring in our knight, attack this f pawn. They're going down in time. They've got 10 seconds left. we can continue pressuring or just bring my knight into the game now. Connect these pawns and we are happy. We just have a really good endgame. Okay. We can take, they take, and then I take. Now, they cannot check me on e4 because I'll just take with knight. This knight's very important. We're currently attacking these pieces. And they ran out of time. Alright, now we are okay. We win this next game. I don't play Blitz that often, so my opponents are a bit low rated. But, you know, this will show you, if you are a 1,000 rated player in Blitz or Rapid, you will get a lot of people with this opening. Alright, we're going to play e4. We get e5 again. Now, we're going to play knight e2. ALAPIN'S opening. And see where this gets us. Now, they play this, my favorite line, of course, knight f6. We're going to take, and now, if they take here, we just win a free knight. Boom, they take. They think that we're going to go here, but now we're just going to go here. Oh, this is another line. They think that they can move their knight, but now this actually is kind of blunders. And we can still transpose to the same line, where we're already actually more developed. Alright, now we do that. Now, remember, like I said, you cannot go to e6, this is a fork here. So they're going to have to go here. And after we bring our knight out... Oh, they run right into the fork. That is a free... Now they just resign out of the way. Very quick game, very easy game. If you remember this opening, you will find a lot of... you just trap a lot of people with the same thing. Alright, we have white. Let's play e4. Well, we get e5 again. Alright, we got e5. Let's play knight e2. And we get my favorite line once more. As you can see, knight f6 is pretty common in Blitz. We're going to play f4 and see if they run into one of the traps. Now they take. They're going to take back. And if they take the pawn, it's just winning for us. Now they try to hold the pawn right away. We're going to play d3, just grab it already. Okay, we're going to push up, protecting the knight and also hitting the queen back. They're going to move again, and we're going to continue with the same thing. Okay, sure. That's actually an interesting one. Huh. Kind of gives up a new situation. This is the same situation where we're just kind of letting this go. Okay, we're just gonna trade queens now. After they take a pawn, we're gonna take knight. Oh, and then they just blunder the queen. Okay, well, that's fine with me. I'm gonna take this pawn right here. And we are happy. We're about to just bring in my knight and just start attacks all over the place. Now, this knight cannot go anywhere. Or actually, except here. If we go here, they check us here. So we're gonna go just back over here. Stop any... Like, remember, when you're moving your king, you need to remember where there are checks. If we went to e2, they would just go ahead and pick up our queen. Now, we're just gonna go ahead and check here. Try to pick up the knight. They're probably gonna move back here. And then we can go ahead and check, move, and then take. They're gonna move the pawn. We're gonna go for just a regular old simple pattern. Take with the pawn. Okay. Now we have a lot of discoveries here. We're just gonna go ahead and grab this knight. We're gonna just try to trade off all these pieces because we are okay. We're all fine. Oh, now we're just gonna pick up the knight here, or this rook, I mean, and check again. I'm just gonna try to bring in my bishop, get my rooks into the game. We have 2 open files here. Just gonna bring my rooks in here. Alright, they're protecting this twice. We're just gonna continue with. We can't go. We can go here. This is fine. Alright, watch for forks. Always watch for forks. Okay, now we're just gonna start trading this down. Okay. Check here. Make the move. Attack this knight. I mean, if we attack this knight, they go here. Okay, they just pick up the rook. That's fine. Sure. I don't know what that does. Try not to put repetition into this. Now we have check here and move. Okay, they just move. We're gonna continue. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. We need to watch for. We need to make sure that we don't accidentally blunder here ourselves. Okay, go here. No check, senor. Why didn't you take the knight with your queen? With your queen? I don't know, man. I sometimes miss things too when I'm playing Blitz. That's what I'm saying. That's why this opening is so good here, everyone. Now let's bring in our rook. Go for checks. Bring my king into the safe place. We have 2 pawns still left over that are passed. Now we're just gonna check here. Oh wow. Now we can just check and pick up this knight. And it's just completely winning still. We have check here. After the king moves, we can check it again and just pick up the rook and we're fine. Or that. Or are we just gonna go ahead and attack the rook and attack this pawn. We're gonna push these pawns up a little bit, kind of block off this queen. Or this king, I mean. We're gonna just give away the pawn. Push this pawn a bit more. Keeping this king cut off. And then check here. King has to go up. We can check again. Has to go up again. Or just up, even up to the side a little bit. Just check again. Has to go here. And we kind of have like the walk of shame where they have to go back now. And this is mate. Alright. Hello, this is Future QuadRat. Hi. I forgot to make an outro for the video, so this is going to be the outro. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Alright. Expect more to come with the unusual opening series that we started here. And yeah. Hope you guys like, subscribe, you know. We're going to be doing more of this every week. Alright. That's going to be it. I hope you guys all have a great day. See you guys all later. Have a good one, everyone.